Hey everyone! Today I'm going to be doing a quick training of two of the Google Suites apps, Google Drive and Google Docs. I'm also going to be giving you some real-life application ideas you could implement with students who have an AT accommodation. The really cool thing about these Google apps is that they're a cloud-based service. This means that a user can access their work from any device with internet capabilities. They would simply access the website of the app they were working in, such as drive.google.com, and log in using their Google account. This is a huge bonus feature for students using these apps as AT. What this means for them is they have continued access to their work across all environments. If they had started a homework assignment at school but needed to complete it at home, they could just log in using their Google account on their home computer. For students with mobility disabilities, this is especially important. It seems that more and more classrooms have specific laptop cards for the students, so if we had a student with a mobility impairment, they wouldn't actually need to carry their technology around because they could access it from each one of the laptops in their classrooms. Let's take a look at the first app, Google Drive. This app is the triangle with the green, yellow, and blue ribbons. When I open Google Drive, it brings me to the home screen or My Drive. This is similar to a file explorer on a computer, such as your Documents folder, Pictures folder, or even folders on your desktop. I'll call this page Command Center. The Command Center at this time is split into two sections, one for quick access and one for folders. Quick access are documents you have recently opened or edited. Google wants you to be able to access those folders with the least amount of navigation, so that's why they show up at the top. The folders are organized in a list format, but I can change that in a second. First, let's take a look at the toolbar in the top right corner. We have a magnifying glass, a list button, and 3 dots button. If you guessed the magnifying glass button was a search button, you were right. I can search by file type, when they were modified, or by typing here in the search bar. To navigate back, I will press the back button and it takes me to the Command Center. The list button next to the magnifying glass changes the view of the folders. So this arranged them into a grid with less details. This works for a lot of students. It also doesn't work for a lot of students. This view feature is really up to the user preference. Finally, the 3 dots button allows me to sort or select different folders. I can select folders to move them from different locations if I wish. So to do that, I tap on the folders that I wish to move and press the move folder button at the bottom, and from there I would select my destination. Now let's talk about the menu on the top left side. I can see my picture associated with my personal Google account, which I'm accessing right now. But if I look to the right, I can see the little blue avatar indicating that there is access to another Google account. And when I click the drop-down menu, I can see that additional Google account. There are a lot of items in this menu. My Drive is the Command Center. If I press Computers, I can see which computers are synced to my Drive. I can set up my personal computer to automatically upload and sync all of my files to Google Drive if I wish to do so. I can see which items have been shared with me by going back to the menu and pressing the Shared with Me button. I can see the name of the document, who shared it, and when they shared it. If you find yourself accessing a shared document frequently, you can add it to your Drive by clicking the 3 dots by the document and pressing Add to My Drive. I currently have my photos on my mobile devices sync with Google Photos, so when I click that option, I see all of them. You can also see recent files, starred files, and offline files. Offline files mean that you can access and work on them even if you don't have internet. I also encourage all of my students to work offline because if they're bringing this technology back and forth, they might not have internet at home and they could still complete the work if they're working offline. Also, some places on campus have a poor internet connection, and this is a good workaround as well. You can also view your trash, which is great in case you accidentally delete something. Let's go back to the command center and add something to our Google Drive. To do this, I press the big blue plus button in the bottom right corner. There's a pop-up menu for folder, upload, camera, Google Docs, Google Sheets, or Google Slides. For this example, let's upload a photo. It will give me a notification at the bottom when it has finished uploading. If I wanted to create a folder, I would go back to that big blue button again and press folder. I'm prompted to name it, and for AT students, I recommend making a folder for each one of their subjects. So let's call this one Language Arts. Language Arts. I can see that the folder is created third from the top, and you can see now that the pending upload completed. I'll go into the folder, the Language Arts folder, and I see that it's empty. From here, I can continue to add new folders, documents, or uploads. So let's add some new folders. Because this is Language Arts, I'd want to add a folder for vocabulary words. Spelling words. And book reports. I always encourage students to name and place their files in the appropriate folder, but sometimes that does not happen. As long as you encourage your students to at least get all of their work for each class in a respective folder, at least it's easier to access than a really messy command center. One good thing to implement is sharing these subject files with the appropriate teachers. That way they don't have to get 20 emails a day from one student. Instead, they can go directly to the Google Drive and see the work product. So let's show you how to share folders. If I go back to the command center and press the 3 dots on the folder I wish to share, I have 2 options to share. I can add people or get a shareable link to email to people. If I want to add people, I'm prompted to begin to type their name. I can type a message. And press the paper arrow to send it off. One thing to show you is I can change the access to the folder. For example, if I made a folder with a ton of AT app cheat sheets and I gave it to all my AT students to access, I would only allow them to view only so they didn't change or delete my work. To send it to an individual, I go back to the 3 buttons and I press Get Link. It's copied to the clipboard. From there, I would create a new message and send it off. Files that have been shared with other people or have been shared with me are identified by the little people within the folder icon and next to the folder name. So that's the nitty-gritty of Google Drive. So let's take a really quick look at Google Docs. When I open up Google Docs, I'm prompted to name my document. I always encourage students to name their documents with the title and the date so they don't get confused. Docs works much like Microsoft Word. You start typing and can use different buttons on the toolbar to change character styles and so on. The top right corner has a menu to undo and redo an action. I can add a link, comment, image, table, etc. And I can change the font styles even further. If I press the 3 buttons, I can see the word count and other aspects of the doc. When I'm done editing my document, I press the blue check mark in the top left corner. If I wish to go back and edit again, I would press the blue pencil button in the bottom right corner. And there you have it. I hope this tutorial was easy to understand and useful, and thank you for watching.